Have you ever walked into a setting and felt like you didn't belong despite your expertise, training or credentials? Last week, I finished editing a video for a client of mine and it was very pleased and satisfied. And my first thought was, I've got lucky again. I've been feeling like this since I was a teenager, and it's commonly known as impostor syndrome, and I believe many of us just feel this way. Over the years, I've read many articles and watched many videos, and they all share some common similarities. Feeling like a fraud at work and feeling that someone will find out you don't really know what you're doing. Believing that everyone else has it together, and you're the only one feeling this way. Working long hours to overcompensate for perceiving inadequacies. Thinking, I've been lucky so far, but it can't last forever, can it? You might be surprised to know how many people feel this way. In 2018, Michelle Obama said, "It doesn't go away, that feeling that you shouldn't take me that seriously." What do I know? I share that with you because we all have doubts about our abilities, our power, and what that power is. Last year, I took the courage to start therapy, and what you learn is that there's no quick fix for these kind of things. But there's a lot of ways to cope with it, and to just keep being your best self despite of it. And here are 3 questions that I ask myself when the imposter syndrome just kicks in. Was someone ever satisfied with their work? Picture a past accomplishment. Picture how people were satisfied with their work, and how your work made a difference to their lives. You might think you just got lucky, and we could say that once or twice you did, but I believe that the numbers can talk for you. And on top of that, people don't make compliments just for the sake of doing it, especially paying clients. The second question is failure proof that I'm a fraud? Reflect on your past failures. Did those failures define you? Do you think something like, oh, now people know the truth about me? Failures don't define you. They don't mean that you're bad. It just means there are areas that you can improve. And think about this. The expert that you look up to, do you think they have no room for improvement? The last question is, how am I talking to myself right now? When I get stuck in the imposter syndrome loop, I start being very critical to myself. Sometimes so critical that I think I will never be that critical to another person. We tend to be more compassionate to other people. The thing is, I often try to catch my thoughts, especially when I get stuck in this loop. If they're positive, embrace them as much as we can. If they're negative, we should try to challenge them with a more positive and compassionate version of it. I know it's very difficult, but I believe the goal is training to have a healthy conversation with yourself. And one last thing, here a powerful quote from Michelle Obama. Imposter syndrome is a thing in your head. It's what you practice telling yourself. And if you've heard that you are not good enough, that's what you're practicing. I'm just here to tell you it is not true. You wouldn't be here, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing if you didn't belong here. I believe this message is very powerful for anyone feeling this way. One last question for you is, how do you react to compliment? Are you sometimes able to believe them, or you just think that people can't see the truth about you? Just write down in the comments, and if you like the video and help you even a little bit, just leave a thumbs up. See ya!